Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Lauren Cielo from Golden Rose Psychic Services.
And I'm Crystal Heinemann from Crystal Sunshine Psychic Services.
And this is the Metaphysical Q&A podcast,
where we make metaphysics crystal clear
and golden delicious.
Metaphysical QA is a subscription-based podcast where we will shift the way each human views the experiences that they're having here on this earth.
That's right. Crystal and I are professional clairvoyant healers and teachers, and we're using this platform to help explain all of our shared human experiences in easily understood metaphysical terms.
And our viewers and listeners supply the questions. That's you all. So if you'd like to submit a question, would you please visit our website at www.metaphysicalqa.com, or you could go and visit us on our Facebook page, which is Metaphysical Q&A, and you can submit your questions there. And if Dr. Lauren and I do read your questions here on this upcoming podcast, or one of our upcoming podcasts, then one of us will offer you a free reading.
That's right. Well, Crystal, let's get going with this episode's questions.
Okay, Dr. Lauren. So for today's questions, we have 3 of them. And the first one comes from Katie in Tacoma, Washington. And Katie says, I've been trying the law of attraction to create material things that I want in life, but it's not working. What am I doing wrong? All right. Number 2 comes from Scott in Florida. Hello, Scott. And Scott says, how do I create a good job, a good family life, and a good home life? My older brother seems to do fine. Is there something metaphysically holding me back?
Okay.
Yeah, I love that. Number 3 comes from Laura in Texas. And Laura says, I have a persistent fear of not having enough money. How can I leave lack behind and create what I want? So I love these questions, and thank you all so much for submitting your questions. So this really feels along the lines of manifestation. So how about we call this one the Metaphysics of Manifestation?
I love it. Oh my gosh. That is one of the most popular topics for any metaphysical technique that, people are searching for, from the law of attraction to vision boards and all kinds of fun things. So hopefully Crystal and I can share shine a little light on how we see manifestation metaphysically happen. So, Crystal, are you ready for the first question?
That I am. Okay. So question number 1 comes from Katie in Tacoma, Washington. Lauren, are you ready for this one?
I am.
Katie says, I've been trying the law of attraction to create material things that I want in life, but it's really not working. What am I doing wrong here?
Oh, excellent. Well, a lot of times, Crystal and I, we have to back it all the way out to the very beginning of how we see metaphysics. And that would have to do with pictures. Now, if you've listened to our other episodes, you've probably heard us talk about this. And somehow we always bring the conversation back around to those pesky pictures. But they really are the building blocks of this earth plane that you're looking at. Maybe another way of saying that is this reality is nothing more than a series of pictures that's streaming by, and it makes it seem like a video. Okay, so and let's say that you're alone in your room. Okay, there's no one else in the room but you. So we would say that there's a picture of you sitting in that room, and it's going through the stream. As soon as you get up from the chair, the picture in the stream is changing. Okay, so just bear with us. Okay, now, what the law of attraction asks you to do is to shift your vibration to the vibration of what you're trying to create. Okay, and that's not at all really how we see manifestation. If pictures are what's creating this reality, then all we have to do is purposefully create pictures and get them out into that stream. Let me give you a good example. If you want a red convertible, right, it would be awesome if you created an image of you already in that red convertible, driving and smiling, and no one else is in the picture except you. Okay, so Crystal and I teach this in our clairvoyant programs, to show you how to create these images and use your psychic tools to get them out into the stream. So I'm going to let Crystal take a little peek at Katie, and maybe we'll get a little bit more information. Crystal?
Absolutely. Well, you know me so well because I was taking a peek at you, Katie. And what I really wanted to look into is how you are creating your pictures. If it looks like by your question that things aren't really coming to you like you are wanting them to. So, like Lauren said, that is all about how your pictures are being formulated, being created. Are they clear pictures or are they unclear pictures? So just like the car example, whatever you want, how clear is your picture? Or is it kind of just, it's a bike over there, maybe it's a pass over there, something like that. So I really wanted to take a peek at you specifically to see how well you are creating your pictures. And what I did see is that it's so interesting. It's like you're almost there, Katie. You're right there. And the way that you're creating is, so bear with me, say let's go back to old school and you actually printed out a picture, right? When you used to take a roll of film and you got a picture back. Okay, so say you have this 3x6 picture or whatever they used to come in. It's like your edges are very clear and then they kind of go out of focus towards the middle. And so what we really want you to be doing, Katie, is really focus on these pictures really, really clear. And then you'll get this. And so once you focus on your pictures really, really clear and then set the intention to have them like sent out into the stream. I mean, honestly, as you're creating them, there's nowhere else for them to go but out into the stream. So you don't have to work too hard at this creation space. So just be mindful of how clear the pictures you are sending. And pictures are information. It is your thought forms. It's all of that. When people talk about be mindful of your thought forms, that's all just pictures that you're creating. So if you wanted to, take a moment and really envision those and just make sure your pictures are really clear. So are they formulated? Are they not formulated type thing? Because really clear pictures mean really clear creations. So if you can't see them yourself, then the universe can't see them either. So you have a little bit of work to do. It's like the outskirts are really clear, but just fill in those middle, and you're going to have this, Katie. So I can't wait to see what you create, and I'm looking forward to it. Lauren?
Excellent. All right. Well, let's go on with the next question.
Okay.
All right. We're up to question number 2. All right. Now, Scott P. from Florida asks, how do I create a good job, family, and home? My older brother seems to do fine. Is there something metaphysically holding me back?
All right. Well, thanks so much for your question, Scott. We really appreciate it. And if you caught segment 1, I'm going to go back to that, bring you right back there into this whole series of picture situation. So how do you create a good home? How do you create a good life? How do you do that? Well, like we said, our life, everything we're creating is just a series of pictures. Everything's happening like picture after picture after picture. So make sure that your pictures are very clear as you're setting them out. If you want that really good home, if you want that really good life, envision you having these. Now that is the key. What you don't want to worry about the how, you just want to worry about the what. And be in something that we like to call high havingness. So if you're following along the concepts of everything's a picture here, everything's a series of pictures. And so you really want to formulate your pictures really clear. But there's one more catch to this. How willing are you to receive these offerings that the universe is going to offer for you, that your higher self is going to create for you? How willing are you in agreeing to have this? Well, that's what we call high havingness. And the way that you can check something like this is being in agreement of having high havingness, willing to receive everything that you want to create. all of your creations, having high happiness to actually receive that into your space. So what we like to do is we actually create energetic gauges. And how you would do this is you could just close your eyes and you can just envision an old gauge right there, right with your eyes closed. I kind of like to look at mine like an old retro timer clock, from the 1950s. Has 0, has 100 on there. And just ask, well, what's my happiness today? What's my happiness to create this beautiful home life that I'm wanting to create? Is it, I don't know, is it 36%? Or am I at 100% to actually receive these creations that I'm wanting to really create in my life? Now, the beautiful thing is, say that you're over here on this scale where you're maybe only at like 25% willing to have these creations you're wanting. Well, guess what? You can actually just go ahead and move the little hand over there, lock it in at 100%. Just have the intention to keep that locked in. And guess what? You're at 100% happiness. That's it, my friend. I mean, that's what creation's all about. It's that easy. Create that picture that you want. All of this that you talk about, a good job, whatever a good job is for you, envision you having that job. What does that look like to you having that job? So envision that. Go ahead, close your eyes and say, all right, what's my happiness? Put up that gauge. What's my happiness to have this good job? It's only here. You know what? No, I'm at 100% to have this job. That's it, my friend. High happiness, create that pictures. Remember, clear pictures equal clear creations. I hope that answers you. Dr. Lauren, do you have anything to contribute to this?
Yeah, I sure do. Thanks. So Scott, I was taking a peek at your havingness for the different things that you mentioned, and they all are different. I'll give you a good example. When I first learned about my havingness gauge, I looked at it and it was 45%, which means if I planted 100 seeds, that I would allow myself to have 45 of them. Okay. And I was a corporate engineer at the time, so I was making a lot of money. And so I, just like Crystal said, in my meditations in the morning, I looked at that gauge and I just kept pushing it over and padlocking it at 100%. Just a little imaginary thing in my head. Boom, boom, boom. So now when I look, it's somewhere around 90, but maybe between 90 and 94% until I pin it up, push it over and padlock it in. So that you can do, like Crystal mentioned, just set your intention that you have 100% happiness for all those things, those pictures that you're creating. But there's something else that would really help you. The fact that you say that your brother is doing really fine in those areas. Well, let's talk about matching. Okay. So let's say that your brother is really great at manifesting a comfortable, beautiful, safe home for him and his family. So that means that somewhere in his space, he has a picture of that he's been able to get out into the stream, and he's able to keep his happiness high enough to sustain that, to keep that picture, to keep energy on that picture, let's say. So if it were me, I might ask my guides and angels to match me to my older brother, who's good at doing one thing. Okay, like I wouldn't say, oh, just match me completely. But if I'm trying to do something and I see somebody else is really good at it already, I might tell my guides, if there's any shifts that you can make in my body chakras and aura, would you do that? Maybe raise my happiness, improve my ability to create these pictures, these metaphysical pictures that you don't even know you're creating. So I might monitor my happiness and then just match my older brother on the things that he's accomplished that I'd like to accomplish too. So that's what I got.
Okay, so on to question number 3. Now this one comes from Laura in Texas, and Laura says, I have persistent fear of not having enough money. And I think most of, at least America that we're in, can relate to that. How can I leave lack behind and really create what I want? Lauren?
Excellent. Well, I want to tell you, Laura, your first chakra is lying to you. Okay, you've got an energetic lie in your space. It's a picture, and it probably comes from someone else. It's probably not your information. So the first chakra, if you're sitting down right now, you're sitting on it. It's shaped like an upside down tornado, and you sit on the small part of the tornado, and it spins. And what's spinning in there are all of your pictures about food, shelter, and clothing. So we call that the survival chakra. So what happens, unbeknownst to you, that when you're awake and you're trying to figure out, how do I make my money? Where's my food come from? Where do I sleep at night? All of that information is encoded in your first chakra. Crystal did mention that in our society, a lot of us have that feeling of lack. And when I get a client that's first chakra is lighting up with fear, I try to remind them that, oh my gosh, you are living in the most affluent society ever on this planet, as far as we know, chronologically, right? That I say this to my clients, and I live in Southern California, so it's true for me, that I could walk out of my house and I could live on the street for years, right? I could drink out of somebody's faucet. I could, dumpster dive out there at McDonald's if I needed to. So truly, the Homo sapien, Lauren Cielo, is not going to die from lack of food, shelter, or clothing. That is not what's going to kill this beast. And yet, I was telling Crystal, sometimes I'll have a client that's probably more affluent than either Crystal or myself, and they're moving across town. Okay, so of course, moving involves your first chakra. That's why it's so stressful. First chakra has to do all this adjusting that now you have new, shelter, right? So the way their energy field looks as if their life is in jeopardy. First chakra saying, oh my gosh, emergency. And I'm like, you're moving across town. You're both professionals. You make, I get more money than Crystal and I do combined. Individually, they do. And yet their energy field is lighting up. So that's one of the benefits, I think, of maybe taking some of the training that Crystal and I offer, because what we do is we shift the pictures that are in our aura, chakras, and our body. And once you start tampering with those, then your experience on what's happening outside of your energy field is completely different. You can literally reprogram your space to have a completely different experience once you wake up in your body every night. So I have a feeling that Crystal's probably peaking in your first chakra right now. So I'll hand it off to her. Laura, what do you got for Laura?
Oh, you know me so well. Yes. Laura, well, I went diving. I went diving, and what I did is I really want, as Dr. Lauren was explaining this, I really wanted to take a peek at your first chakra, and I wanted to see how it was lighting up. And like Dr. Lauren said, it's just the scaredy cat chakra. That's the one that loves to light up. It's the one, like when you feel that fear, that anxiety, that stress, it's usually first chakra information, that survival, how we do that. And it's the biggest liar out of all of our bodies. It's almost like you have to train that beast. It's like you have to reprogram it and train the beast that is the first chakra, because it is a beast. And so I was taking a peek at your first chakra, and you know what? You have a lot of, it's interesting. There's a lot of red energy around it, which is the outer color that I'm reading. And I just read, when I read a color, it's just an energy. And when I read red, it's usually about like conflict or turmoil. It's something about that. So that's actually what your first chakra is wanting to talk to me about. And then right in the middle of it, right in the very core of it, is a lot of black. And now black isn't good or bad. Black, it just means that it's someone else's energy, it's someone else's information. So those pictures that we've been talking about, it's like they're kind of covered in soot, kind of colored in black, meaning that it really, it was someone else's picture that kind of like came in, someone else's information that came into your first chakra. And it feels very mother energy to me. And I almost get the sense that maybe perhaps that you were raised by a single mother. And because I'm not really picking up much of the father energy on here. And so I really think this is mother energy in here. So I wouldn't be surprised if, if you maybe lived in, I don't think that you've ever lived in lack. That's not really what I'm seeing. That maybe there was a lot of paycheck to paycheck where your mom probably worked pretty hard to provide survival for you. And that's really where you picked up this energy from, this information from. And again, it's not your information. And like I don't really see in your space, I'm not really seeing the pictures that, showed you ever homeless or showed you really ever, in the moment of that you're going to die because you don't have anything. So again, this is just that lie, right? That your first chakra is doing. So that's what I was taking a peek. And so what I'm doing is, of course, we both have our healing masters here. And so I'm going in and I'm sending him in to clear away all of that black in your first chakra. Now, what that means is that he's just going to go ahead and try to like shift those pictures in there and, almost make them your own information. If we can kind of get rid of that black energy in there, which is really your mother's energy in there. And if you want to listen to the first couple of segments about like how you can create a life where you don't have that fear of living in lack, build those pictures, keep them coming, make sure they're your pictures. I hope that answers your question, Laura, and I hope that you enjoyed that healing on your first chakra information there. I know I work mine all the time. It's something that and Sabu, my healing master, he actually is wanting me to say, since we've been talking about pictures almost this whole show here, is that pictures, we work them all the time and we talk about them all the time because they're constantly forming. So even though we're constantly working our energy here, and now, you all have some tools to work that energy to work those pictures, we're never free of pictures. We're always creating them because we're in this constant stream. So it's something that we work all the time. But however, the pictures, they can, they start to get a little bit easier as you start to understand, what's going on here on this earth plane, knowing that everything is just a series of pictures. So anyways, I hope that answers your question, Laura. And if you did hear your question here on this podcast, would you please visit our website, which is www.metaphysicalqa.com. And would you please click on that free reading button and claim your free reading from one of us here.
Excellent. Well, Crystal, do you think we've done it again?
Whew, I think we've done it yet again, where we are making metaphysics crystal clear.
And golden delicious.
Would you please visit our website at www.metaphysicalqa.com, and would you please subscribe and also submit your questions? We really love answering your questions. And if I said something that was interesting to you, and if you feel like checking out my personal website, it's www.crystalsunshinepsychicservices.com.
Excellent. And you can find me on the web at laurencielo.com and goldenrosepsychic.com.
Bye, everyone.
Please hang up and try again.